Hello, David here at merchantaccounts.ca. Today we're going to tackle the topic of how to get credit card processing for travel businesses. Stay tuned, we'll dig in 1 second. So credit card processing for travel businesses is a challenge because of something. It all centers around future delivery risk and chargeback risk. And I'm going to explain that right now. So when you take payment for something with a credit card, your customer's guaranteed to get what they paid for. If they don't get what they paid for, they get their money back. No questions asked. Now, in the case of if I go to like Best Buy and I buy a mouse, I'm going to walk home with it. And I'm going to plug it in. It's going to work or it's not. But in the case of travel, so, an airplane ticket, a hotel, a cruise, a tour, that's something that you might be booking well in advance. I had a client years ago that did polar bear tours, which was a very cool business. They were booking those payments like a year in advance because they were so in demand. But what would happen if they took a bunch of payments and then something happened and the tours couldn't happen anymore for whatever reason? Well, the customer would be entitled to do a chargeback. When the customer does a chargeback, they call their bank, say, hey, I didn't get what I paid for. I need to get my money back. The money has to go back. This is the Visa rule. And if the merchant doesn't have the money, it comes out of the payment processor's pocket. That's why payment processors are worried when it comes to travel businesses. Now, there are a lot of ways to address this concern. So I'm just going to jump into different ways. So if you're a tour operator or a cruise operator and you have one ship, one cruise liner, and something in the boat goes down, you can't reaccommodate those passengers. But let's say that you're more of a boutique cruise operator and maybe you have many different boats that you can place your passengers on. They know that that's much less likely to be debilitating to your business. Another thing that you can do is when you take a payment from your customer, you can minimize the upfront payment and push the deposit payment closer to the date of arrival. Now, to be clear, obviously this is said with a grain of salt. In a perfect world, you would want 100% of the money the instant the customer was interested. Forget the payment processor's concerns, and fair enough. And by the way, if you have an established business, maybe you can get to that point. But when you're trying to get through the door, especially if it's a young or new travel company, but even if not, even if you've been established for a while and you're just moving to a new payment processor, you might want to make subtle changes to your business model where you're slightly minimizing the deposit up front and you're pushing more of the balance as close as you can, comfortably can, to the date of the arrival of the guest. That's going to bring down the risk score. And the end result is that you're going to lower down the perceived future delivery and have an easier approval. You'll have a better approval. That's the short version. Another thing that's important is, how did you get into this business? Did you just wake up one day and figure you're going to start a travel company? Or have you done it for 22 years? That all makes a difference. Have you run other successful businesses in the past? Well, why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because if you know what you're doing, it adds credibility. And here's my secret weapon. You need to write a cover letter that tells your payment processor these things, and you have to find a payment processor that cares enough to actually read it and consider it and take it to heart. Building a relationship with your payment processor for a travel business is super duper, extremely important. I can't overstate that. Travel is one of those industries where you can have a really good experience or a poor experience. And I'll tell you, at merchantaccounts.ca, we're very good with travel businesses, because when I have a new travel client, the first thing we do is we sit down, we go through all the things. Hey, what businesses have you run? How do your deposits work? All the things that I just discussed. And then I organize a call with the head of risk, like a Zoom or a Google Meet, and we talk about it. Because what you're doing is you're building a relationship, a human relationship. And one of the things that you can do as a merchant is you can say, hey guys, I understand your concerns, but my concerns are, if you approve me with a security reserve, I want to know that as I build a track record, it can come down. And that's a great time to make another request to them. Hey, by the way, as I establish myself and my volume grows, can you give me some guaranteed rate reductions? That's exactly how you should approach it as a travel company. I hope this advice was helpful. We work with tons of travel businesses at merchantaccounts.ca, and if you'd like a quote, please reach out to us. I hope you found this helpful. Have a nice day there. Bye now.